for tomorrow's Sunday afternoon affair. We'll be back here at Washington-Grizzly Stadium at high noon for the finale of this 3-game series to open the home slate for Grizz Lacrosse. Joey Kortner ends up with the ball in the crease, feeds Alex Wider. Reeser, pass got away from him on the near sideline. Bounds out of bounds with 11:22 remaining in our first quarter. Another pass evading a stick for CWU, but picking it up off the carpet will be Flores. A matchup that Montana has had the advantage in. Mentioned that these are two teams that have gotten together in 4 consecutive seasons. Montana has had the advantage in each of those matchups last year on the campus of CWU, getting a win over there in Ellensburg. Really a unique setup there on the Central Washington campus, a unique part of the state of Washington. Cool part of the state to travel to, in my opinion, kind of climbing up towards the mountains, or starting to, thinking about the Cascades that are just to the west. About 2-3 hours away from Seattle. And looking at this roster, a lot of the state of Washington, a little bit of Idaho, Colorado as well, but the vast bulk of the players on this roster hail from the state of Washington. Clock stopping here with 10:31 to go in our first quarter, no score. Maybe waiting on a issue with the clock potentially, that's my guess. Officials may want to have either the game clock or shot clock adjusted in this spot. Right now sitting at 60. I think Tucker Sargent last night helped out folks in terms of getting a shot clock reset last night. Hearing his voice yell out, they want 60-something, clear as day from the sideline, picking it up on our crowd mic. Back to the action. Indeed, they did mess with the shot clock, now ticking under 20. So have to show some urgency here if you're the Wildcats to try to get something into the back of the net to take an early advantage. Shot from distance, save made by Kortner, reaching down to the left. Good save there. The shot coming from Kendall Saldivar. Been able to stop that one, reaching down to the left. Now Jake Ahrens feeds Gabe Miller, who saunters across the midfield stripe for the Montana Grizzlies, setting up Max Scott as well. We see a whistle stop play. Looking for the officials. What do we got here? .9:55 first quarter, another stoppage. My assumption is another shot clock issue here in this first quarter. Back to the action. Reese Barron working in X with this Grizz offense along with Kellen O'Brien. On the near wing, up top, coming up towards Bo Sterling. What a couple into the back of the net last night. Reese Barron, the team leader in terms of goals scored on the season, also was able to find plenty of activity last night as well. Reese Barron, the team leader in goals, had 5 last night, also the leader in points in last night's game. Sully Kroger had 3 assists. Alex Heck, team leader in GBs in last night's game with 5 of them. And Rhett Parrish, bulk of the time in net for Montana in relief of Joey Kortner. Not a bad night for him in net either. Reese Barron able to whip one past the far post. Montana really just rolled, as I mentioned, had a 12-1 lead at halftime last night, just cooking against the Zags. Really liked what they did in the third quarter also, scoring a game high or close to it, 6 goals. Sully Kroger goes up high to the left. Relatively quiet start to this one with nothing into the back of the net at this point with 8:42 in our quarter. 10 on the shot clock, so the Grizzlies will have to hurry here with Michael Ray putting his shoulder down, puts one off the near post. Just put his shoulder down, seemingly absorbing the worst of that was the defense of the Wildcats. 8:33 first quarter. Shot clock reset to 60 with the ball going off the far pipe for Montana's offense. Heimbach finding some space for Scott, dodging towards the near post. Men converging in front of him, instead goes out wide. Kroger across the way on the far post, trying to swim his way towards the net. Shot was partially deflected, going out of bounds on the back line. Reese Barron was surely closest to the ball with now 38 seconds left on the shot clock. Montana's offense trying to get themselves on the board. Barron facilitates for Bo Sterling. Shot goes just to the left. Could hear some of the oohs and ahs from the crowd from down below. Just seeing that one whip past the cage. 27 seconds on the clock. Michael Ray comes towards the middle. Two men converge. He goes away from some of that pressure and feeds O'Brien. 18 seconds on the shot. Max Scott back on the pass from O'Brien. Looking at X. Kroger's there. Has it now on the far post. Dodging with 9 seconds to shoot it. Kroger tried to feed it across. Goes over the stick of Bo Sterling. 8-7-37 like a jumbo jet left in this first quarter. Turnover from Montana's offense, and we will see Central back on the ball. He's trying to get it across that midfield stripe. Was just such a chore for the Bulldogs yesterday. Able to work it across this time, finding Dane Nagger, making a clear. Here's Davis, Nico Davis, one of the starters. Central Washington seemingly in no hurry now as Devin Swain works it towards the near post. Gets it back on a feed, straight on. Is it going to shoot from distance? No. Goes out wide to the right. Coming in next now, here's Flores. Back this way, Nager. On the near post, wanting a pass back? No. Instead, going to go up a bit taller to Saldivar. Two men around him, tries to feed in front. Defensive pressure there from Alex Sack, but it doesn't matter. So ball ends up into the back of the net, top left-hand corner. Good defensive pressure applied by Alex Sack, but able to make his way in front to put one into the back of the net was the attackman and team captain Cade McElwain for Central Washington. So a good start for the Wildcats. They have the early advantage, 1-0 here in our first quarter. Something Gonzaga could not say last night. It's the Wildcats grabbing the lead. It was Montana from stem to stern last night, but it's the Wildcats with 6:47 to go in our first quarter getting themselves onto the board first. And you like the attack there from the senior, just plowing his way through traffic to get to the back of the net. Quite honestly, I was surprised that he was able to put a shot on cage there with the pressure there from the defenseman and Alex Heck. Now a scrum off the faceoff. Who wants it? Central Washington takes it with Flores coming towards the near post. Patch gets away. This one will bound out of bounds. McElwain was able to find himself some space in front of the net. Unfortunately for Central there, a shot just did not find his stick for a chance to put one into the back of the net again to make it 2-0. Instead, an easy clear for Asa Deskins in Montana in our first quarter. Bit of a slow start for Montana. Mentioned yesterday in action, Central Washington, their first game of the weekend. So maybe some fresher legs to start this game out, making his presence felt. Court Lehman's going to work it towards the near post. Had a great goal in the second half last night, part of that barrage in the third quarter. That was really the highlight. Mentioned 6 goals in the third last night. The level of difficulty in some of those shots was really special. Sully Kroger trying to get him going. He does. Going down to the left. 1-1 tie. Sully Kroger on the feed from Reese Barron makes it 5 with 5:43, 1-1. On the goal from Kroger, the junior Oregon native for Montana. He's been very active in the first 5 games of the season, whether it be facilitating or finding the back of the net himself. And sometimes that can be a great asset. Shouldn't say sometimes, always a good asset. As what do we got here? Max Scott tied up with Nagger. Jerseys popping off, a lot of jawing back and forth. Looks like after the little skirmish, both players kind of dab each other up, giving themselves a little fist bump action. So no harm, no foul. A little dust up on the near sideline, but both players come together and make amends. Matt Klein, an interception right near the midfield stripe, one of the starters today for Montana. And for me, in his second game, he really was a huge highlight. Was all over the field, picking up ground balls, showing off his athleticism on clears. Maybe the reward from head coach Tucker Sargent, one of the starters today for Montana. Few adjustments from last night's lineups. Also saw defenseman Kyle Lincoln, the junior out of Bozeman, was in there this afternoon. Mac Angus, another one of the starters for Montana, sees it come up and over his stick with 4:41 in the quarter. 1-1 tie here at Washington-Grizzly Stadium in a PNCLL battle between the Wildcats and Grizzlies. Trying to ambush the midfield stripe, nicely done. As Scott knocks it loose, allowing Sully Kroger to find the ball in transition. Is he going to try to pass it into the middle? No, as he waits for friends to check on. Good work there from the Montana Ride in that spot, just waiting at that midfield stripe to knock it loose. And that continues to be a trend on this weekend. It has just been a chore for the opposition to make their way across that midfield stripe. Very tough. Just waiting right there was seemingly a wall of white and maroon. Reeser will he use the screen? No. Near post, bounces it in. How in the world did he find the top left corner in that spot to give Montana the advantage? Reeser somehow off balance bounces it in, top left-hand corner. That was a beautiful shot from Reeser to make it 2-1 Montana. Get a second look at that at the ESPN MT app, at least at the celly from Reeser. That was sweet. Going up high to the left. Level of difficulty on that shot is pretty darn high. Be able to find the back of the net in that situation. Montana some life now. Looks like a legal procedure will be called on the face-off. Ball will be awarded to Central Washington somewhat reluctantly. Officials pointed to the left, but initially nobody in red went to the ball. They will work it in X now. McElwain, the captain, who had the first goal to get Central on the board to grab a slight advantage in the early going. Flores from distance, going away from us, has it back with defensive pressure there from Gabe Miller. Along with Alex Heck, a screen is available on the far post as the ball comes into X. 30 seconds into the possession. Looking for some space, feeding up top. Here's Saldivar. With Jandro there defensively. Going away from Lincoln and Miller. Lincoln getting his stick involved, looking to pick a ground ball, as is Jandro. Physical play on the near sideline. Central will keep it. 30 seconds left on the possession. Able to work it back towards the field. Not much pressure there as Logan Castillo gives it a look, comes back to Saldivar. Fakes a pass towards Castillo. Does Saldivar with Jandro still there. Now goes his way, playing catch, going into the teeth of the defense. Swarming defense there. 3-4 bodies. Once it came into the middle, converged. We see a whistle stop play. This will be a ball back to Central Washington with a brand new shot clock reset to 80 after the hit. Bit of space, shot partially deflected before it got anywhere near the cage in that spot. Closest to the ball were the Grizzlies, I believe. Kortner was the closest to it. Jake Ahrens, stick got in the way. Easy clear to Jandro coming down the near sideline. Nathan Jandro and the Grizz offense back with it here with O'Brien. Just over 2 minutes remaining in our first quarter. Close game all the way through our first to this point, with Montana leading by a goal. Central also has had a 1-goal advantage here at Washington-Grizzly Stadium on a cool and overcast afternoon. Have to imagine the folks from Ellensburg in the Pacific Northwest have to be quite comfortable with a day like this. Screen set for Bo Sterling coming towards the far post. His shot is up high to the left. 1:50 in our first quarter. 38 seconds now on the shot. Near post chance for Reese Barron. Finds a bit of space. His shot is just to the left. He's able to kind of skirt his way past one or two defenders to get himself a good angle on the near post to shoot it. But when we kind of stepped to the left, I think that's where the angle on the shot made it tougher, as the shot missed off to the left as well. 25 on the shot. Here comes Kellen O'Brien towards the far post. Looks to the right, instead feeds Kroger. Now into the middle, Scott winds it up, puts his shoulder down, loses it as he comes towards the cage. Couple men in red there knocking the ball loose. Now a scrum in front. Michael Ray trying to look for it. Body's hitting the deck. Michael Ray picks it up on the near post. Will the shot clock reset? Will the shot clock reset? I do not believe so. No, it will not. Shot clock violation. The ball goes back to Central Washington. It's kind of a battle of scrum for possessions, but the officials deem that there was never a sustained possession. May not matter. Matt Klein picks up a ground ball, picking up right where he left off. Jake Ahrens looking for room on the near post and is able to find the midfield stripe with relative ease, getting around one Wildcat. 45 seconds, ball knocked loose though on the near sideline. Ball goes right back to the Wildcats, who will look to work it quickly towards Joey Kortner. Ball coming towards the near post, taking it away is Kortner on the far post. Looking for McElwain on that attack. Pass evaded his stick. Up ahead towards Matt Klein. Looks up with 30 seconds on the clock in this first quarter. Ball taken away from Klein. Working to the left is Olin Patterson. Patterson ran into Klein. He takes it back, right back. Back and forth we go. 20 seconds left in the quarter. Have to hurry. O'Brien, far post feed. Reese Barron stopped on the far post. Able to make the save was Vietas. 3, 2, 1. Final seconds coming down. That's the end of our first quarter. Low scoring opening quarter here at Washington-Grizzly Stadium, the ESPN MT app, Grizzlax.com. Montana, the advantage by 1 over Central Washington. We're back with the second quarter on MCLA TV, Grizzlax.com, the ESPN MT app, and our YouTube page, ESPN MT. Back with our second quarter after this, PNCLL Lacrosse on a Saturday afternoon at Washington-Grizzly Stadium.
It's easy to see why Montana is the treasure state. At the University of Montana, we look inside. We see an old truth with fresh eyes, that Montana's greatest treasure is its people. So whatever tomorrow brings, we meet it the only way we know how, with a mind for making. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
At the Stone of Accord, our liquor store has an extensive selection of Irish whiskeys, wine, and local spirits. We also have exciting events daily, and our complimentary beverages are always served with a smile. The Stone of Accord, Irish fare with Montana flair. Restaurant, liquor store, and casino. Bring the whole family to the Stone of Accord for a wonderful brunch. From traditional comfort food to eclectic specials, there's something for everyone to enjoy. And it wouldn't be a proper Missoula brunch without an Irish coffee and a mimosa. The Stone of Accord, Irish fare with Montana flair. Restaurant, liquor store, and casino.
On what? Having a little fun with the song playing on the loudspeakers. Of course, Larry Johnson would include this one in the playlist here at Washington-Grizzly Stadium. A little fun fact for you about this song from the band Alabama. Where does Alabama come from? Where's their hometown? Fort Payne, Alabama, the Northeast Alabama. Why do I know that? Grizz lacrosse team spent time in Fort Payne and Mentone last spring. Part of the Southern Comfort Tour. Honestly, I'll always think about the Johnsons and that awesome trip last year with Grizz lacrosse whenever I hear this great one from Alabama. Beautiful part of the country. Hope to make our way back out to Alabama someday. At least I will. We're ready for the second quarter. Montana, the lead 2-1 over Central Washington. Glad you're with us on the ESPN MT app, YouTube page, MCLA TV. Nagger takes the face-off for the Wildcats to get us going here in our second quarter. That's just part of the role of lacrosse. These big travels to different parts of the country you wouldn't expect. Central Washington, in a few weeks' time, you'll be able to find them in action in sunny San Diego, taking on UC San Diego, Albert Mann's squad. But what a fun deal for those guys from out in the Pacific Northwest. Maybe be able to enjoy some sunshine, maybe some mahi-mahi fish tacos. That's what I'd be going for. Thinking about San Diego, ho baby. Here's Owen Graves, Washington native, an all-conference pick last year for Montana, finding a clear for the Grizzlies as they look to expand their advantage. Reese Barron able to work it to the far post. The ball was sitting directly out of bounds behind Barron. At first I thought it was actually coming out of his cradle out of bounds, but not quite. Just lining up balls in that out-of-bound area, just trying to keep the game going after a shot. It fooled my eyes for just a second. Here's Gilman. Feeding out wide towards Sully Kroger. KJ Gilman got a lot of playing time yesterday in the second half, working here in quarter number 2. Asa Deskins looking for Lehman. Has a pass get away. Gilman able to pick it up off the carpet. 20 seconds left in this possession for Montana. First look here in the second quarter. Max Scott working quickly. Barron, a little give and go for Deskins in front. Bottom left corner. Beautiful cut to the front of the net by Asa Deskins as Montana grabs the lead by 2. Good luck for Asa Deskins. Little second look on the feed from X. Beautiful cut by Asa Deskins to make it 3-1. Tommy Evans lining up the replay for us here on our stream. Also seeing that look up on the Jumbotron as well to our right. So the full experience here at Washington-Grizzly Stadium as Negger has himself another face-off. Coming towards the far post. Gets hounded by 2 or 3 Grizzlies, though, as Aarons wins it back. That's been a theme here in this first half. Just seeing white shirts just swarming to the ball defensively. Matt Klein, no problem. A clear to Scott. Almost a pun there. Maybe instead of calling it a clear when he has it, we'll call it a Klein. Who knows? Have some fun with it. Was able to work with him being a Chicago guy. Mentioned he a Grizz hockey player, one of the best defensemen on the team actually for Grizz hockey this year. With him being a Chicago native, worked in Italian beef references. Maybe we'll do that for Grizz lacrosse as well. That is one of my favorite sandwiches, so it's an easy thing for me to talk about. If you don't know what Italian beef is, I feel sorry for you. Plenty of good eats in Washington, too. My goodness. Maybe it's just because it's getting close to lunchtime, all this food stuff is coming up. At the midfield stripe, another battle. Reese Barron is able to find it and come towards the net of Central Washington. Peeks it over, looking for someone cutting towards the cage. Instead moves it to Sully Kroger. You can see that from this Grizzly team in transition. A lot of times you'll see them looking up, looking for places to go, looking for openings. You like to see that. Max Scott is going to find Kroger. Kroger cuts past one man, shoots just right. Penalty flag is out as well. Now 2 of them. After that shot, Kroger may be taking a shot there up high. Looks like we will see a man-up situation now for Montana with 11:31 in our first quarter. First flag we have seen, looks like a 1-minute penalty called against Central Washington. Chance to stretch the lead out ever so slightly here in our second quarter. Sitting at 2. Both teams have led in this first half in a relatively low-scoring half so far. But this Central Washington team, as I mentioned, has seen pretty good results. Highest goal total they've allowed this season is 12. Reese Barron finds space. Good execution from the man-up group, and Barron gets it done to make it 4-1 Montana.
Barron for the Grizz goal.
That one almost cracked me up, the goal celebration song. Apparently Reese Barron is
for the Grizzlies, number 22,
too sexy for everybody. 3-goal advantage for Montana. I can't tell you the last time I heard that song, actually, as here comes Isaac Fuller after the face-off win, looking for Sully Kroger, is able to settle it down on the near sideline, or did he? Did he step out of bounds? Looks like yes. Turnover forced by the defense of the Wildcats. Ball knocked away on the ride by Sully Kroger, sticking with the play. Finds Matt Klein coming towards the net. He shoots way up high to the left of the net. Letting it rip like he was at the blue line at a hockey rink in that spot. He can surely do it. Had 20-plus points this past season with the Grizz hockey team. Letting it rip, did the long stick. That shot had some mustard on it as well. Sully Kroger on a feed, or a screen rather, from Bo Sterling. Feeds behind the play, just behind Ray, but Bo Sterling is there in support to keep it alive. Like to see that as well, a pass a bit behind a man, but support there from your offense to make sure that you keep possession of the ball. 40 seconds into the possession. Working it, Deskins. Across the grain, it goes to Scott. Back up top, Sterling. 30 seconds left to shoot it. Screen is there. Deskins to Scott. Coming into the middle. Bo Sterling, the junior, the Washington native. To the far post he goes. He shoots off the post. Off the post, tried to bounce it in. On the rebound, Deskins gets it back and feeds Kroger. Looking for a side dodge. The defensive there is Patterson. Scott, shot stopped by Vietas.
Shot by 41, Max Scott. Saved by the Wildcats.
Down the far sideline, looking for a clear. Ball taken away, back by Montana. Kyle Lincoln with it, coming towards the net, and a whistle will stop things. Grizz sideline wants an explanation as to why play was stopped in that situation. 9:25 to go in the quarter. I don't see a flag down anywhere.
Penalties on that.
Now seeing Scott going towards the penalty area, so there must be a flag down somewhere that I did not see in that situation. So Central Washington now will have a man up with 9:25 in the second quarter. Must have been in one of those coffin corners of the field that were out of my eye view. Man up situation for the Wildcats, trying to cut the deficit back down to 2. Shot reaching up and grabbing that one is Kortner. Saldivar lets it rip, but Kortner says no way. Reaching up to the left. Good save for Joey Kortner. Comes in with a save percentage over 80% on the season. Reese McIntosh ran into a bit of trouble coming across the midfield stripe, and the ball will go back to Central Washington. Actually scored his first goal of the season, did McIntosh last year against these Wildcats over in Ellensburg. One of those drives, if you screw up the directions from Missoula, I'm not sure what to tell you, is get on I-90 and go west. You can't follow those directions, well, I don't know. It is a great college town, Ellensburg. Another shot from Saldivar is stopped by Kortner. Owen Graves is going to try to rumble past 2 or 3 men. He does. He comes towards the middle, now feeds this way to Jandro. Keeping it moving quickly, Kroger shoots and scores! Going up to the left. Sully Kroger, a beautiful shot to make it 5-1.
Timeout, Central Washington.
Now a timeout has also been called. Montana the lead by 4, 5-1 score. Timeout has been called. Sully Kroger, great shot going up high to the left, making it 5-1. Timeout on the field. We'll step away for 60 ticks. Grizzly Lacrosse PNCLL action here at Washington-Grizzly Stadium.
It's easy to see why Montana is the treasure state. At the University of Montana, we look inside. We see an old truth with fresh eyes, that Montana's greatest treasure is its people. So whatever tomorrow brings, we meet it the only way we know how, with a mind for making. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
Back here at the 8:17 mark, beg your pardon, in our second quarter. Grizzly Lacrosse on the ESPN MT app. Grizzlax.com. Glad you've decided to get rolling with us. In our second quarter of action, Central Washington feels a little push of momentum in this quarter from the Grizzlies. They want to try to stop the bleeding, get things turned back into their favor. And something about when you see a goal level of difficulty we just saw from Kroger get the bench fired up, you can just feel that little push of momentum. Call a timeout, try to reset things, and try to keep it from being a big run. It's like we saw last night. When this Grizz offense can get humming, goals can come in quick succession. Court Lehman going out wide to the left, working it back towards O'Brien. He's got some space in the middle, instead feeds closer to the cage. Reese Barron looking for space, now goes to Deskins. Far post, couldn't get around two men, somehow passed it behind his back to Reese Barron. How in the world did he do that? I don't know. Pass almost intercepted from the stick of Barron, trying to battle for it back as Sully Kroger. Couldn't do that. Shot clock did reset with Kroger almost finding the ball back on the near post. Kroger hounding for the ball near the crease, as is Deskins. Big hit, and coming out of the cage and applying that was the netminder Vietas. Physical hit there for the Wildcats. Ball bounds out of bounds behind Joey Kortner's head, his counterpart.
Out of bounds somewhere around Lolo. Possession will go over to Montana.
Ball goes out of bounds behind the cage. Like the reference there on the south end zone, Larry Johnson saying it ended up somewhere near Lolo, a town nearby on Highway 93, about 10 miles, accurate, to the south of us. That was a good reference right there. Atta babe. 6:49 in our second quarter. I would say it was going more towards Hamilton, a little bit further away than Lolo. That thing was well away from Kortner. And coming all the way from the opposite goal, so that thing traveling seemingly 100 yards on a dot. Clayton Byrne, the cameraman, and it tracked nicely. Busy day on ESPN MT in terms of seeing action. It was real cool to see this be a part of the lacrosse coverage last night. From distance, a shot stopped by Kortner reaching off to the left. Davis, Nico Davis. Shot ends up on the rebound with Kyle Lincoln, who works it back to Kortner. Now with Ahrens in front of the cage. Thought about a whip way down the field. Instead fakes out one or two men to make an easier clear to Gabe Miller. Little head fake there. The ride of the Wildcats kind of shifted with the head fake of Ahrens. Gave him an easier opportunity to cut towards the middle, then feed out wide this way, near sideline, to find an easier clear. Good IQ there. Just make life a little bit easier on yourself to work it across that midfield stripe. 5.5 to go before halftime. Here's Owen Grave. A little stutter move towards the near post. Now sets the screen for Kroger. Can shoot it from distance. He's proven that. Max Scott with it now. With Reeser. Bit of screen there. Heimbach right in front of him. Reeser sees two men defensively converge on it. Now goes across the way to Kroger. Partial screen from Heimbach. Shot clock at 15. Kroger shoots and scores. Top left corner. Sully Kroger, his second goal of the quarter. 6-1 Grizz.
Sully Kroger for another Grizz goal.
Scoring from different parts of the field, as well as Sully Kroger. Seen one from this side of the field, being in a corner before that previous timeout. That goal worked from the opposite side of the field in the other corner. So showing some offensive versatility is Sully Kroger, scoring from multiple different parts of the field. I would imagine that just makes you that much more difficult to defend. Knowing you can't fixate, oh, this guy looks to go right or likes to go left, likes to shoot from one hand or the other. If you're scoring from different parts of the field, good luck. Ball worked all the way back towards Kortner, who has it in the crease. Scrum there off the faceoff, saw the ball go all the way back towards the Grizzlies' net. Jake Aarons looking for somewhere to go with it. Lobs it way up ahead. This will be bouncing past Tucker Sargent in the Grizzlies' bench area, out of bounds. Will this ride be tough once again? Some space and a clear made here from Logan Castillo. Bit rudimentary in that spot as Saldivar is able to settle this offensive possession down. Montana, one game left in this homestand. Tomorrow against the University of Idaho. First time seeing the Vandals as an opponent since 2024. Montana in last 5 seasons has played them 3 times. Shot was up to the left of the cage, have won each battle. And mentioned also the Vandals will be in action later today against Central Washington. Scheduled face-off of 4 o'clock. Saldivar with 20 seconds left to shoot it for the Wildcats. Now Nico Davis challenging Owen Graves. Davis more towards the middle, feeds it this way. Nager looking for somewhere to go with it. Now less than 10 to shoot. Have to hurry. 5, 4. Saldivar with 3. Shoots way up high to the left. Maybe coming out of his stick awkwardly. That will be a shot clock violation. 3:10 to go before halftime. Advantage 5 for Montana after the defense of the Grizz stands tall once again. The defense of Montana has just been tough all season long to this point in their first 6 games. Specifically, looking at their last 3 coming into the game today, Montana combined in 3 games had allowed 7 goals total. That's doing work. Helps when you have a goalie at the caliber of Joey Kortner in between the pipes, all-conference, all-American type of talent. The defensive player in the year in the conference last season as well. Reese Barron, an ex, has been a National Goalie of the Week now twice in his career. Once this season already and did so last season as well. Save made on the near post. This will be a clear available for Devin Swain. Swain feeding near post, working towards the cage. Castillo had a shot knocked to the left. And the ball will go back to Montana thanks to the hustle on the back line from Joey Kortner. Able to reach that stick out to get the ball, working it to the left. 2:12 left in our second quarter. Kortner lobs it up ahead, knocking it to the near wing towards Sterling, who had a bit of space. Whistle stops things. This will go back to Central Washington with 2:05 to go. In X, McElwain to Davis. Wildcats got on the board first, but it's been Montana with a 6-goal unanswered run since in this first half, trying to cut the deficit back to 4. A fake pass from Saldivar goes away from pressure of Klein, passes to the near post. On it now is Flores. Passes middle, Saldivar, no problem on the shot. Kortner just easily reaching over to the left to make that look extremely simple. With just over a minute to go in the quarter, shot clock and game clock are almost identical. Alex Wider looking for some speed at the midfield stripe, is able to get through some pressure, feeds into the middle. Deskins shoots. His shot was partially blocked in front, maybe by the body of Reese Barrett. Gets his stick in the way. Deskins looks to pick it off the carpet and does, with 50 ticks left in our second. Tucker Sargent does have both timeouts. Shot clock is off. Montana can have the final possession as if they want it, and Tucker Sargent is going to talk about it. Timeout called by the Grizzlies, their first of the half, with 42 seconds left before halftime. Grizzlies will look to draw something up on the sideline, looking for a 6-goal advantage in this half. 5-6-1 is the score. We're back for the final 42 seconds after this.
University of Montana, we meet health with heart. Since 1893, Grizzlies have served on the front line of medical innovation, preparing for the future of health and wellness. Our medical school acceptance rate is 20% above the national average. With more than 72 pathways to a career in health, UM is training the next generation of healthcare professionals. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Both teams will look to end this half on a high. Montana offensively, Central Washington looking to make sure that the lead does not get any larger for the home-standing Montana Grizzlies at Washington-Grizzly Stadium. A cloudy afternoon, do we call this early spring? I guess why not. We'll be setting our clocks forward tomorrow. So getting closer to warmer weather. And really, I would imagine with temperatures where they are in the 40s, not much wind in these cloudy conditions, I would imagine both teams feel right at home. Sounds like we got some more sunshine on the docket for tomorrow, maybe even some temperatures near 60 degrees for tomorrow's home game against the University of Idaho. In X with 25 seconds on the game clock. Looked at the shot clock, that's irrelevant for a half second. Reese Barron had a shot partially come out of his cradle awkwardly, going towards the sideline to the left of the bench. And the Wildcats were also closest to the ball when it went out of bounds, so the ball will go back to Central Washington with about 15 seconds left before halftime. So let's see what the Wildcats do here if they make any effort to attack the cage. Working it across the near sideline, 5 seconds. Doesn't look like Central's going to do much of anything. They will not. That is the end of our first half. A little bit anticlimactic, but that is the end of the half nonetheless, with Montana with a relatively comfortable lead at the halftime break. Score is 6-1 here on the ESPN MT app, Grizzlax.com, MCLA TV, also streaming live on the ESPN MT YouTube page. If you haven't subscribed to that ESPN YouTube page, be sure to do so. A lot of fun stuff available involving the Grizzly lacrosse team, Grizz hockey, bunch of fun content throughout the course of this season. We'll surely be seeing a lot of goal highlights, some interviews throughout the course of the semester for Grizzly lacrosse, and also live and archived broadcasts It's real fun last night, as I mentioned. A new club on the University of Montana campus is getting going. Their interest involving the broadcasting industry, specifically sports broadcasting and play-by-play, getting going in the first couple of weeks. We're up here doing their own broadcast last night, also streaming live on the ESPN MT YouTube page. And right now, those students not here, the reason why, they actually are broadcasting some college rugby this afternoon over at Dornblaser Field. University of Montana, Montana State, University of Idaho, number of other college rugby teams battling right now over at Dornblaser Field, and they're giving their perspective. Been able to catch little glimpses of that broadcast. Have been doing some sideline interviews and including some other fun elements. So how cool is that? Potentially the next generation of great broadcasters getting their careers rolling at the University of Montana, getting an opportunity to cover some college sports. A great chance to get your career started, in my opinion, and just to get some reps, get some experience, get out in the field. And I would imagine probably seeing a new sport as well. I don't know much about rugby myself. I would imagine probably a pretty fun thing to broadcast. But check them out. Check out our ESPN YouTube page to stay up to date on everything Montana lacrosse and athletics in the Treasure State proper. We're at the half. Montana the lead by 5 over Central Washington. 6-1 tally. Sully Kroger a couple of goals for the Grizzlies offense leading the way. Montana looking to stay unblemished in 2026 and move their record to 6-0 overall, and also pick up their second win in as many days in their first home weekend of the regular season inside of Washington-Grizzly Stadium. We'll step away for now. We're at the half. Montana the lead by 5 here in Missoula, Montana.
Grizzlies can fix just about anything. That's why the University of Montana is the cybersecurity center for the Treasure State, training the next generation to defend what matters most. We deliver graduates with skills to fill more than 1,100 open cybersecurity jobs in Montana. As the region's cybersecurity hub, we'll be prepared for tomorrow's threats, because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
Bring the whole family to the Stone of Accord for a wonderful brunch. From traditional comfort food to eclectic specials, there's something for everyone to enjoy. And it wouldn't be a proper Missoula brunch without an Irish coffee and a mimosa. The Stone of Accord, Irish fare with Montana flair. Restaurant, liquor store, and casino. At the Stone of Accord, we use the freshest ingredients to create our homemade traditional Irish classics, fresh salads, and creative specials. Come enjoy our warm, family-friendly atmosphere. The Stone of Accord, Irish fare with Montana flair. Restaurant, liquor store, and casino.
Why would any business let you use their product and give you 365 days of reassurance? Mattress Firm does because they believe in their mattresses. Save on top brands like Nectar, Tempur-Pedic, Beautyrest, Serta, Stearns & Foster, and others. Mattress Firm carries $149 mattresses all the way up to the luxury Purple Rejuvenate Premier. 0% in payments as low as $39 a month, along with 365 days of reassurance. See why Mattress Firm is Montana's best place to find the sleep you deserve.
Mattress Firm, where it's easy to get a great night's sleep.
DeMorris Buick GMC is ready to help you safely travel Montana's scenic roads in comfort and style. Stop by DeMorris today and test drive some outstanding SUVs. Right now, take advantage of closeout pricing on the uniquely designed and well-equipped 2024 Buick Encore GX with models starting at $28,895. Don't miss this opportunity. Go to DeMorris.com to preview our inventory of 2024 Buick Encores and then pay a visit to DeMorris Buick GMC on West Broadway in Missoula, your family-owned hometown dealership for over 60 years.
We're back at the half. Washington-Grizzly Stadium, Montana the advantage over Central Washington in this PNCLL conference battle. 6-1 advantage for Montana. Glad you're here on a Saturday afternoon. These gloomy conditions aren't deterring the fans here down below us. Dancing away. Saw some dancing going on last night and some more. Mentioned I wouldn't be showing off many moves, but they got us covered in the stands. Still a lot of fun to be had throughout the course of the regular season here at home inside Washington-Grizzly. Montana will be headed on a lengthy road trip in their next games, taking on the state of Minnesota. That will be a new one for me, actually. Not new opponents. I've seen opposition from Washington, or Minnesota rather, before. But that'll be fun to see. Taking on St. John's, the #1 ranked Tommies of St. Thomas, and also will be going towards another new state, at least for Grizzly Lacrosse this season, North Dakota, going to a new city in Fargo. Never seen Fargo with Grizzly Lacrosse, but the final game of that trip will be against the Bison of North Dakota State. Other action we've seen of note in the PNCLL in the D1 and 2 ranks. This one a big one from Montana and Central Washington's perspective. Team in the PNCLL, big result for them. That's the question of thinking about the strength of schedule not being there. A lot of gaudy numbers for College of Idaho going into yesterday's game. But I guess we can say that they're for real. They pick up a big win last night over Montana State at home, 13-9. That's the third loss as well for Chris Kelly's squad. As we see more dancing in the stands. Fun stuff. Boise State ran into a buzzsaw in BYU. Final score of 32-8. More D1 action. Texas Christian, TCU, gets a win over Oregon State, 17-12. Other action today in the conference, mentioned Central Washington and Idaho will get together. Wazoo and University of Washington, University of Oregon and TCU, Simon Fraser and BYU also in action. And the Vikings of Western Washington will look to pile on against the Bobcats of Montana State. Vikings taking on MSU. Actually, that game probably getting close to the conclusion over there at Simplot Stadium. Was a 11 a.m. face-off over in the Boise region. So if we get any update on a score from over there, we'll let you know. But again, last night, College of Idaho, a massive win over the Bobcats as the Yotes remain undefeated. So surely they put their stamp on it as another team to look out for in 2026 in the PNCLL Conference. It was a quick start in the first quarter, leading out by 3, and Montana State was unable to turn it back in their favor the rest of the way on the road. Central Washington scored the first goal of our contest in the first quarter, coming from was the senior captain, Cade McElwain, finding the back of the net for the Wildcats in the first. But Montana, after a bit of a slow start in the first quarter offensively, was able to get it humming as the first half rolled along. And they have a 6-1 advantage as we think about now the beginning of our third quarter. Back at that face-off spot, Fuller able to win a face-off for Montana. He comes towards the cage trying to run through defensive pressure. Nager able to knock it loose, trading possessions now. Sawyer Snow looking to get involved. One of the first times we have seen the first-year attackman on the field. Flag comes down, and a player is down as well for Montana with 14:47 just getting rolling in our third quarter. Flag down, ball will go towards Central Washington. A Grizz player is shaken up in front of the Wildcats net. I believe it's Fuller. Able to get himself up and walk off the field, seemingly with not much problem in that situation. So it looks like Fuller maybe takes a bump there, is able to dust himself off. Haley Adams, team trainer for the University of Montana, taking care of things, coming off from the bench area. Second year with the team for Haley Adams being the team trainer. Man-up situation for the Wildcats, looking to find the back of the net first in the second half, just like they did to get things started in our lacrosse game. Flores, slowly, now this way with Davis. Nico Davis. Cerebral start. Trying to get a look at that zone defense. Pass far post, tough angle, stopped by Kortner. Now Jake Aarons trying to work it towards that back line, maybe trying to work it out of bounds. A desperation heave. Whistle sounds, ball indeed did go out of bounds, or Wildcat did, beg your pardon. Now Wider looking to bring it the other way for Montana. Little stutter move, misdirection, putting his foot in the dirt, cutting one way. The defense thought he was going the other, and is able to work it across the midfield stripe himself. Made it look relatively easy there. Sawyer Snow back on it for Montana. He's able to score his first Grizz goal last night, did Snow. Ball got away from Heimbach, but ending up with it on the far side of the field was Reese Barron. Finds Snow, keeping this possession moving. Reeser had it go over his head. He had one of the highlight goals in the first half, took a bit of a bump on the near post, and was able to somehow, off balance, bounce a shot in to the top left-hand corner of the net. And Reeser works it out of bounds. A little shove to a Wildcats. Ball will go back to the Grizzlies in this spot with 13:40 in our third quarter. Reeser passed below the stick of Jandro on the near post, bounding towards that out-of-bounds line. Jandro keeps it alive, however. Out wide with Kroger. Axel Heimbach had a 3-spot last night, looking for his first goal, works it to Snow in X. Looks in front, Reeser had it go over his stick. Pass is almost taken. Kroger makes it tough. Montana trying to keep it alive. Comes towards the midfield stripe. This will not be over and back as Wider picks it up. Came off a couple of sticks in that situation. That's the reason Montana able to keep possession of the ball. If it claimed cleanly off a stick of a Grizzly over that midfield stripe, would have seen it be an over and back call, but not in that situation with being tipped by Central. The non-releasable penalty in this spot as well. So if a goal comes quickly here, Montana's situation, they could just keep it rolling like it's a Limp Bizkit song. Just keep the goals coming with it being a non-releasable penalty. If it's just a common penalty, you'll see a player go out of the penalty area after a goal is scored, but non-releasable, that's not the case. Bo Sterling and a shot stopped, though, by Vietas on the near post. Looking for an avenue across the midfield strike. Kroger takes it back for Montana. That ride has just been relentless. Sterling tries again. His shots to the right. Closest to the ball was Vietas. This will be going back to Central with nearly 11 minutes to go. Almost, I should say, 11:01. Just over 11 minutes in the third. But here we go again. Trying to get their way across that midfield stripe. It has been an adventure, and now an unforced turnover on the back line. Reese Barron quickly towards the stick of Kroger as a pass get away. Chance for Floyd Heide picks it up, and he works it across the midfield stripe, but a pass errant. Teams trading possessions in this third quarter now with 10:42 left. Do you want it? No, I don't. I'll throw it away. Give it back to you. You want the ball? No, you take it. Jandro, Max Scott, good offense. He scores up high to the right. Jandro able to feed it nicely to the Washington native, Max Scott, as the lead is 8 for Montana, and the roll of goals now 9-0 going back to the first quarter. Max Scott keeping it in the family, thinking about Grizzly lacrosse. His brother Damian concluded his career last season. Max Scott in his second season with Grizzly lacrosse. Damian Scott, as he was known as Damo. Who knows, maybe Damo's watching. A Nagger and Wyatt Nelson in this face-off. Saw Nelson and Fuller split time last night. It was actually Nelson who took the first face-off for the Grizzlies a night ago as well. Illegal procedure will give the ball to Central Washington. Tough pass at the midfield stripe through traffic. Stick got involved. Alex Heck intercepts it right in front of the bench. A push, though, has been called against Montana. A few players on the Grizzlies sideline didn't like the call, but the ball will go back to Central here with 10:18 to go. Nico Davis with the captain dishing it off to Saldivar. Man cutting into the middle, right in towards the teeth of the defense. Wider didn't let a shot come off the stick of looked like Flores. Now Saldivar works it back to the far post. Feeding X had a pass partially deflected by the stick of Wider and Alex Heck. Joey Kortner well away from the cage. Tried to win it back, instead goes out of bounds. On the back line, off the stick of Kortner with 45 seconds left to shoot it for Central Washington, looking for their first goal since the first quarter. Samuel Flores works it eventually near post Saldivar. Playing catch, Saldivar has it back using a partial screen. Into the middle, good cut. Pass evading a stick, though, as it goes out of bounds behind Joey Kortner. Good offensive look there. Man wide open in front. It was Heide, Floyd Heide, able to cut in front. Round a couple of men. Pass just evaded the stick. Gabe Miller looking for the midfield stripe. Passes towards Reeser, a bounding ball. Knocked loose. And picking it up is Flores, or at least trying to. Took a bump from Miller. Loose ball ends up back with Central Washington briefly on the near post. McElwain could not get a shot off in front of Kortner. And now the other way, Jandro across the midfield stripe for the Grizzlies. Third quarter action with Montana leading by 8. Reese Barron seeing Jandro cut in front. Kroger did. Mac Angus will slowly come towards the bench of the Wildcats. Now with Heimbach with a little bit of momentum coming towards the near post. Is he going to shoot it? Yes, and he scores his first goal of the day. Double digit for the Grizz offense. Axel Heimbach, the senior midi, makes it 10-1. just takes it right towards the net, getting past a pair of Wildcats and goes on the far post nicely, sneaking one past Veritas. 10-1 Grizzlies, just about halfway through the third. Montana continues to hum along on this homestand. Fuller, Lincoln, amongst others, battling off the faceoff. Ends up with Asa Deskins with 8:20 to go in the third. Reese Barron thought about passing it right to Deskins, cutting towards the cage. Instead, he keeps the ball moving. Spot maybe with the lead. Montana would rather see the clock move along than try to attack the cage. Michael Ray, 2 men around him, loses it as he comes towards the near post in support. Sawyer Snow has got it. Men tumbling to the dirt. Ball will go back to Central Washington. 7:54 in the third quarter. 10-1 lead. Wildcats trying to get that offense back going. Good start in the first. That Grizz defense, though, awfully tough at that midfield stripe and other areas as well. It's just put the clamps down again on another opponent. So far on this homestand, Montana has outscored their opposition 32-4 in a full game and a half plus, going back to the game against Gonzaga last night. In X, near post, shot up high to the left. Good look there for Kendall Saldivar.
Nico Davis.
First goal since the end of the first quarter, and now a 10-2 game. Sid Saldivar actually was 23. Nico Davis on the goal for Central Washington to make it 10-2 with 7:07 left in the third, like it's a Bay Area code. Face off with Fuller, and Nagger sees men converge from both wings, looking to get the ball from both sides of the equation. It's Fuller taking it, coming towards the near post of Montana. Looking for some space, finds Snow as Deskins cutting towards the middle. He's not going to throw it towards the net. Instead, waits for O'Brien to come onto the field. Into X Barron. Takes a peek over. Look in front of the net. Moves it towards O'Brien. Sully Kroger works it to Reese Barron on the near post, passes in front. Snow near the crease, maybe came into it. Indeed he did, indicated by the officials. That will see the ball go back to the Wildcats. Trying to cut right in front of the net, just came a little bit too close to the cage. Central Washington now looking for a clear. Reese Barron tried to pry it loose, as did Kroger. Ball ended up with Ray, as he will rumble towards the net of Central Washington. Transition, a man wide open in front. It's Sawyer Snow who puts it away to make it 11-2. Sawyer Snow in transition, able to work it quickly across, and it's 11-2, a 9-goal advantage with a 5:50 to go. Good field awareness as well from Ray. Was able to work it across the midfield stripe, found a man wide open behind the defense. But another spot where players are looking up with the ball, looking for someone to facilitate with. Doesn't seem like there is a black hole on this squad. Legal procedure called against Montana. We'll see the ball go to the Wildcats. You just like to see that from offensive players, where they're just walking that tightrope of knowing when to call their own number and when to facilitate. Getting in the way of the shot was Kyle Lincoln, looked like off the stick of Nagger. 5:31 in the third. The defenseman Lincoln, who started today's game, gets in the way. Now tries to effect another shot. Goes away from the pressure of the defense. Here's Swain. Swaim goes back to Nager. Works still on the far post. Saldivar looking for somewhere to go. Comes behind the cage. McElwain back with Saldivar on the near side of the field. Comes into the middle. Nico works it across far side in front of the bench of the Grizzlies. 30 seconds and counting on this possession. Diagonal pass, finds a stick, a shot as well to the left of Kortner, reaching off to the right. Saldivar lets it go. 5:54, 4:54 in the quarter. Shot clock did reset to 60 after that shot. In X, here comes Castillo. In front, Nager. Far post. Flores, Saldivar, look out. Almost friendly fire there on the near post as it goes out of bounds behind the cage. Logan Castillo is closest to it with now 38 seconds left. Now patrolling the back line wider, tried to go around him. That's tough. Shot was affected by the big defenseman Alex Wider. Goes well over the net. 31 seconds left on the shot. As a pass will come straight in front. Now on the far post. Shot knocked down by the defense, and taking it into the crease was Kortner. He'll now look it over, trying to make it clear. Comes away from the cage towards the bench. Flips middle. Miller able to make his way across the midfield stride. Jandro had a pass get away from his stick, and taking it back for Central Washington is Dane. Works it near sideline. Saldivar. Back with starting Fogo. 3:40 in the third. Benny converging towards the middle. No pass available. Saldivar keeping it in the stick with pressure there from a pair of Grizzlies. Now patrolling was Deskins. Just to the left of the bench, ball worked into X. Back with McElwain. Shot clock at 35, still plenty of time for this Wildcat offense to take a look at it. Miller there along with Wider on the far post. Can Flores or Castillo rather find somewhere to go? Shot from a tough angle is taken by Aarons in front of
Logan Castillo for the Wildcats, saved by
Joey Kortner. Ball comes across the midfield stripe over the head of Deskins. Lehman tried to grab it back, but the Wildcats will work it the other way. Transition offense, attack not available as the Grizz defense able to work their way back. Now a shot is there. Stopping it in front of Kortner was the stick of Alex Heck. Nicely done. Looking to keep it alive are the Wildcats near the bench. Whistle will stop play with 2:36 remaining in the third quarter. I believe a timeout is on the field. Timeout Central Washington on the ESPN MT app, Grizzlax.com. Score is 11-2 in favor of Montana. 2:36 to go before we think about the fourth quarter. We will step away and bring more to you after this.
It's easy to see why Montana is the treasure state. At the University of Montana, we look inside. We see an old truth with fresh eyes, that Montana's greatest treasure is its people. So whatever tomorrow brings, we meet it the only way we know how, with a mind for making. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
At the Stone of Accord, our liquor store has an extensive selection of Irish whiskeys, wine, and local spirits. We also have exciting events daily, and our complimentary beverages are always served with a smile. The Stone of Accord, Irish fare with Montana flair, restaurant, liquor store, and casino. Bring the whole family to the Stone of Accord for a wonderful brunch. From traditional comfort food to eclectic specials, there's something for everyone to enjoy. And it wouldn't be a proper Missoula brunch without an Irish coffee and a mimosa. The Stone of Accord, Irish fare with Montana flair, restaurant, liquor store, and casino.
Shot number 22, Nico Davis again ejected by Kortner for the Grizz.
2 minutes and change left in our third quarter. Central Washington trying to get themselves on the board for the second time in this half. Ball working behind the net towards X. Saldivar wants it from X. Castillo, who's going to keep it in X for a second, now passes Saldivar's way as the pair of men trade places. Castillo on the feet from Saldivar. Works it into the middle. Defense there. Matt Klein, stick looking to get in the way. 15 seconds left on the shot clock, so the Wildcats look to have some urgency now. Nager works it near post. Bouncing shot stopped by Kortner on the near post. Taken on the rebound by Alex Wider, who backpedals a bit and feeds it back to Kortner behind his own cage.
Number 51, Alex Wider.
Feet up ahead from Kortner, and high pass towards the midfield stripe. A bouncing ball will be taken. Will it? Scrum for it. A high hit. 2 flags will come out. Court Lehman did not like that one bit. Took a hit to the head, it looked like. Looked like a stick was kind of pushed out as well. If that's the case, could be a cross-check penalty coming here. You can hit a player with the stick, yes. You just cannot extend your hands out to apply a hit. That's where you see a cross-check come out. It looks like a man is down just to the left of the scorer's table as well. Take another look at that. A hit there right near the sideline. Penalty flags come flying out as a result. And maybe that is Court who absorbed that hit, the man that's down on the sideline. And a blow to the head penalty has been called against Central Washington. Looks like a call against Montana as well in that spot. A pair of non-releasable penalties for the Wildcats. It was a 2-minute penalty called in that spot. So the officials surely trying to take control of this game a bit here in this third quarter, seeing the high hits. Just trying to send a message to a certain degree to both benches saying, hey, don't want to see any of that sort of stuff start to pop up in our game as we come down the stretch. So both teams with the penalty at this point. But after a minute goes by, Montana will be on a man-up situation. Most of that will go into what will be our fourth quarter with the game clock at 1:11 as it stands now. Ball will be with Central Washington after the whistle for ready to play, with Dane Nager taking the ball into the offensive end for the Wildcats. So both teams down a man at this spot. Kendall Saldivar.
1 minute.
1 minute remaining in the quarter. Seeing Castillo look to work his way towards the cage on the far post. Kyle Lincoln there defensively. Into X she comes, working it back this way to Patterson. Now Saldivar looking for somewhere to go. Shot clock is a factor here, running at 20, game clock about 10 seconds different at 32. Now at 15 on the shot clock, Saldivar saw a pass bouncing loose to the left, but kept alive. Not much time left on the shot as Castillo works to the near post. A pass across the field will end up coming to the stick of Kortner. Now 15 seconds, has a pass way up ahead, maybe a desperation feed, does find Barron, 10 seconds left. Barron works it to Owen Graves. 5 seconds to go. Will Graves look for anywhere to go with it? No, as he saunters towards the midfield stripe. That will be the end of our third quarter. Montana, a comfortable lead of 9 as we're through 3 quarters. 15 minutes of regulation time left, a fourth quarter remaining. Montana the advantage 11-2 over Central Washington at Washington-Grizzly Stadium. ESPN MT on our YouTube page, also streaming on the ESPN MT the app, Grizzlocks.com, also on MCLA TV. A fourth quarter awaits. We'll bring it to you after this.
It's easy to see why Montana is the treasure state. At the University of Montana, we look inside. We see an old truth with fresh eyes, that Montana's greatest treasure is its people. So whatever tomorrow brings, we meet it the only way we know how, with a mind for making. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
We're just about ready to go for our fourth quarter. Glad you are as well. Whatever side of the equation you're joining us from, Jeff Safford bringing you all the action. Clayton Byrne on our camera feed. Also on the text side of things, Tommy Evans, all with you here up top of Washington-Grizzly Stadium. The cool, gloomy conditions to this point have not slowed down this Grizz offense, who will now be on a man up to start the third quarter. Reese Barron, or fourth rather, almost. Another goal for this man-up group. Had a goal on a man-up situation the only time they had it in the first half. Keeping it moving on the far post. A hit applied. Kellen O'Brien absorbs the blow. A clean hit made on that far post. And a feed up ahead. Leiter trying to win the ball back. Good defensive pressure put on by the defense of the Wildcats. Looked like it was the defenseman, Will Harper, getting his stick in the way of that one. Now is an example of what I mentioned earlier, thinking about a cross, Jack. You can use your stick to apply a hit, just cannot extend that stick out. Now a penalty flag is out with 14-17 left in the fourth quarter, and I believe it was thrown right as officials were walking past the bench. The end of our third quarter, it was a skirmish after a big hit. It was Court Lehman who absorbed the hit, seeing him now walking around on the sideline. So looks like he is no worse for wear. That's good to see. Ball will stay with the Wildcats with 14-17 left. Situation where both teams now have one man. Each team has one man in the penalty area in this situation. Reason for the flag was offsides against Montana. John Dro is in the penalty now for the Grizzlies, as Flores remains in the penalty area for Central Washington and will be there for the next about 10 seconds. Now is able to check back onto the field as the Wildcats are now back to full strength. So this now situation where the Wildcats are on a man up. In the middle, keeping it moving, Flores to the far post towards Saldivar. Shot from distance and a goal for Central Washington. Second goal of the day going bottom left corner for Cade McElwain. 11-3 score as the captain gets his second with 13:51 to go.
Number 3, Cade McElwain.
8-goal deficit, but the Wildcats continue to fight here in this second half.
The Wildcats will be number 25, Wyatt Westfall. And for the Grizzlies,
Wyatt Westfall is on for this face-off against Wyatt Nelson. Seen Dane Nagger take the vast bulk of the face-offs. For Central, actually, I believe this is one of Westfall's first he's taken. First, actually, I've seen. Here's Asa Deskins taking it from the wing to get another possession for the Grizz. As he continues that trend, as we've mentioned from the weekend, just has been outstanding at that spot for Montana, whether it was last night or this afternoon. One game left on the weekend. Remember, for Montana, will take on the University of Idaho. Another high noon opening face-off. Hope you'll be able to join us. If you can't, come on down to Washington-Grizzly Stadium. Sully Kroger in the middle. Pops a pass to Deskins. His shot goes off the post. Great facilitation from Kroger to set up the goal. Had 2 goals in the first half as Braxton McAngus knocks the ball loose. Now looks to pick it off the carpet along with Heimbach on this scrum. Getting involved as well as Barron. Ends up BTB. Snow's shot is stopped on the far post. Sawyer Snow, almost a wild goal in that spot. Coming out of the scrum. Shot it behind his back, trying to go over his right shoulder. Ball was stopped by Vietas. Heimbach and the Grizzlies still have it. Now with Kroger, trying to swim his way towards the net. His shot is errant, up high to the right. 12:38 in our fourth quarter.
Still Montana possession.
Reese Barron and X works it towards McAngus. Directing traffic is Kroger. Coming towards the net, 2-3 bodies in front of him. Near post feed. Deskins, a skipping shot, goes off to the right of the cage. Believe McAngus was closest to it on the sideline. That will keep it on this side of the field. 54 seconds left on the shot clock for the Montana offense. Players checking on and off for Montana. Also, a penalty has been called, a 1-minute non-releasable penalty against Central Washington for a blow to the head. Man up group is back out for Montana here, looking for goal number 12. Bo Sterling shoots, trying to go 5 holes. Save was made by Vietas. Sterling trying to get towards the rebound, as is Max Scott. He has it. Scott feeds to Kroger, winds it up, shoots. Save is made, going up high to the right. Able to track that one nicely. Now looking to get past the ride, or the Wildcats. Hit is there. Laying his shoulder is Sully Kroger, trying to make life difficult. Able to make his way through contact in that spot with Seka. Nathan Seka, number 10. Now loose on the far sideline. Lincoln picks it off the carpet, but a flag is down as a whistle stops play again. This call coming against the Grizzlies.
Against Montana.
A bit feisty here in this second half. We've seen a couple of non-releasable penalties, couple of hits on both sides. 2, I mentioned familiar opponents from years past. Maybe just trying to exchange pleasantries here in this PNCLL conference battle. And it could surely be a situation, definitely a situation, where these two teams could see each other again, thinking about the conference tournament coming in the state of Washington. Couple hours west of the campus in Ellensburg, just south of Seattle. We'll have you covered with the PNCLL tournament next month on the D1 and 2 sides of things. Division 1 and 2 brackets, we'll have all the streams for you, as we have the last couple of seasons. From the Division 2 side of things, there will be, no matter what, a new conference champ, as the conference champion from the last 2 seasons, Northwest Nazarene, actually moved to the Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League. That is NCAA lacrosse in the Division 2 ranks. Colorado Mesa, my alma mater, at least where I got my college degree from, Dominican University of California, also in that conference. But with them, Nighthawks being gone, obviously, there will be a new champ. Joey Kortner, Hail Mary, full of grace is the Lord with thee, no, as the Wildcats will take it back. High hit applied to Reese Barron. That Hail Mary, I guess, does work out in the Grizzlies' favor to a degree. 11:02 left in the fourth. A comfortable advantage from the Grizz perspective, lead standing at 8 in this fourth quarter. Asa Deskins waiting for the ready for play. He will work it towards the near post. Bo Sterling finding Sawyer Snow. Working it around back towards Kroger. Both teams back at full strength here as well in this fourth quarter. Snow sees men cut through the middle, doesn't go into the middle, instead throws to X. Here's Barron. He throws middle just over the head of Deskins. This ball will make its way out of bounds in front of the Grizzlies bench area. Had the right idea, looking for Deskins, who had some space in front. Pass was just a bit too tall. Alex Wider now will chase down a loose ball. Will it come out of his cradle? Yes. Going to the right of the cage. Didn't have anybody around him, but maybe just kind of outran himself there, did Wider. Central Washington fortunate to have the ball back on their side of the offensive side of the equation, at least, with Devin Swaim in the offense looking at it. McElwain keeps it moving to Saldivar. Tried to go across the field, gets it through traffic. Castillo, top left corner, he scores, making it 11-4. Beautiful pass coming left to right, all the way across the field. All Castillo had to do was find the back of the net, and he does successfully. Great offense to make it 11-4. See a look again at that pass from all the way across the field, finding Castillo, able to whip past the man who was Alex Heck, going up high to the left. Facilitating in that spot was Kendall Saldivar nicely as well, with 10:05 to go. Isaac Fuller back on the faceoff for Montana, going against Wyatt Westfall. Fuller able to almost pick it off the carpet. Seemingly a hot potato off the faceoff, and ends up back with Central Washington. Patterson able to settle it down from the wing. Pass across the field, Swaim. It's going to go towards green grass as offensive-minded players check on for Central. Castillo, can he keep it rolling offensively after just putting one into the back of the net? Facilitates, moves towards Nagar. Across the way, back with the attackman Saldivar. Near post, keeps the ball moving. Castillo comes into X with Devin Swaim. Pressure there from Wider. Moves away from him with 40 seconds left to shoot it. Pass looking for Nagar, evades the stick. That will go out of bounds on the near sideline. Maybe just a little bit too much mustard on the pass. Just whipped past a man, allowing Montana to get the ball back. Miller feeds into the offensive end on the stick of Reeser, but that pass gets away. Mac Angus tried to pick it off the carpet, coming towards the midfield stripe. Central Washington has it back. Here comes Dane Nagar. Now will take a bit off the gas pedal as Central Washington has the possession back with Logan Castillo. In X on the near post. Castillo sees two men in front of him defensively going across the field. Thought about a shot. Instead, pedaling away from pressure was Saldivar. Saldivar wants it back. Instead, goes to Nagar straight on. Trying things, Reeser. Castillo cuts past a man. Shoots up high to the left. Trying to use the same exact strategy, attacking Alex Heck that he found the back of the net with, just kind of swimming past him. Shot was errant to the left. Seeing a penalty flag down now on the near post as well. Maybe that reason why that shot was off to the left of the cage.
Penalty will be against Montana. Central Washington will have a man advantage.
Alex Heck indeed is in the penalty area with 8:21 in our fourth quarter. Another man down situation for this Grizz defense to deal with. Seven-goal advantage. Flores thought about it. Instead, feeds Nagar. On the near post, Castillo back to Nagar. Is going to shoot it this time, and Kortner's got that one, reaching up high to the left. Sometimes Joey Kortner makes things that are pretty difficult look very easy. Spin cycle for Reese McIntosh. Finds a wide open Wider. Comes across the midfield stripe, comes towards the bench, probably will check off for Montana. As Sawyer Snow has it in front of Tucker Sargent now, directs traffic behind to Reese Barron. Comes to Kroger on the near side of the field. 7.5 minutes in our fourth quarter. Trying to get one into the back of the net. Kroger has two men following him. Cutting across was Heimbach. Mac Angus, 35 left to shoot it. Finds Reeser with a little bit more of green grass on the far post. Comes down low, flag is out. Pass over the stick of Heimbach. This will bound out of bounds on the near sideline. But remember, there is a flag down. This will be against Central Washington. Another situation, 2 quarters in a row, where we see a clock stop with a Bay area code of 7:07. I bet E40 would like that. Fourth quarter.
Central Washington, Montana will have a man-up advantage.
Situation for Tucker Sargent to give man-up crew another rep here in this contest. Shot clock is at 20 in this spot. Max Scott cuts middle, pass doesn't go his way. Now will come towards Scott, and he shoots and scores, bouncing one to the left-hand corner. 12-4 Montana. Max Scott just kind of kept cutting towards the middle in front of the cage. Pass didn't go his way once. Tried the right post instead of the left. Kroger is able to dish one beautifully to Max Scott, who makes it 12-4. Able to find the opening in the defense in that spot. 6:58 in the fourth. Mentioned after the first weekend of the season over in Denver that the coaching staff of the Grizzlies really, point of emphasis was the man-up execution. And ever since those first 3 games, man-up has definitely looked great. Castillo looking for his second goal of the quarter, instead feeds a pass off. Shot was knocked down by the defense of Jake Ahrens. Taking the shot was Saldivar, but Ahrens putting his body on the line, making sure that that did not get anywhere near Kortner. Ball stays with Central, but you like the hustle from the defense of the Grizzlies, ensuring that ball did not approach the cage. 12-4 game with 6.5 to go in the fourth. Those little things, putting your body on the line, picking up ground balls, loose balls. Mentioned this theme last night as well, but those little things in a close game, conference, championship, national tournament type of contest, rivalry games, when you're scratching and clawing for any goal and advantage you can find, those little things can be the difference between a win and a loss, no question about it. Jake Ahrens whips one across the field, looking for Lehman, had it taken away. Castillo quickly towards the net, is stopped by Kortner, reaching off to the left.
Shot by number 28, Logan Castillo, denied by number 7, Kortner for the Grizzlies.
Court Lehman looking for somewhere to go, feeds it back to Kortner. They have 10 seconds to work their way across. Lehman with plenty of speed, have to look out for this transition. Come towards the net, near post feed to Kroger. Cross the field to Snow, who now takes his foot off the gas. With the transition defense getting back for Central, Montana will now work some clock with the 8-goal advantage, with 5 minutes and change remaining in our contest at Washington-Grizzly Stadium. Reese Barron to Kroger. O'Brien has some space to dodge with it in the middle. Now will facilitate a screen for Kroger. Stalking his prey, coming into the middle, spinning. Again, feeds out this way. Closer to the cage, Reese Barron's shot ends up to the left of the net. 4:56 in regulation. Wildcats were closest to the ball behind the cage. Ball will be back with Central now, trying to work it towards that midfield line. Nagger. Feed to Harmon. The defenseman will come towards the sideline, has it taken away back by Sawyer Snow. Looks behind him, feeds Gabe Miller with 4.5 minutes remaining in the fourth. Cloud cover continues to be the theme. Cool conditions, not much wind. Seeing that flag go straight down behind the south end zone. Had some breeze off and on last night. Sounds like tomorrow may be quite a bit warmer. Sully Kroger has room. Shot stop trying to go down low. Maybe 5-hole. Able to stop it was Vietas. Montana works it back. Kroger takes another shot and it's not stopped this time as it's 13-4 going up high to get into the back of the net. This time, Sully Kroger has had an outstanding contest. That is his 4th goal of the day with 4:04 left in the 4th. Whether he facilitates goals or does the goal scoring himself, Sully Kroger has had a heck of a junior season to this point. Definitely one of the engines that makes this offense go. In terms of facilitating, doing so much a season ago, the all-conference pick, and mentioned him last night, the all-time leader in assists in Grizz lacrosse history, and Miles Hess graduating after last year. Question kind of became of who was going to fill those shoes, and I would think the answer to that has been Sully Kroger to this point, and his ability to not just score goals, as I said, but know when to facilitate as well as the team leader in assists. Pass errant over ahead of that looked to be Saldivar. An unforced error for Central Washington with just over 3 minutes left in our 4th quarter. Montana the advantage now by 10 goals at 14-4. Asa Deskins took a bump, able to keep the ball in his cradle, jukes one man and passes towards Sawyer Snow. Under 3 to go in our 4th quarter. Montana surely can smell another win at this point. Another successful day at the office for this Montana team, looking to move their record to 6-0 on the year and 2-0 here on this homestand at Washington-Grizzly Stadium. Wildcats will have a chance to dust themselves off in quick order as they do battle with University of Idaho later today in Washington-Grizzly Stadium. Again, that's scheduled to be a 4 o'clock face-off time. This may be a chance to take a little bit of a rest, maybe get some food in them from the Wildcats' perspective before doing battle with the Vandals. Loose in front of the net of the Wildcats. Ball comes loose towards Bo Sterling. Knocked loose, whistle stops play, and the ball will go back to Central Washington with 2:07 left in the 4th quarter. Another chance for the ride to be difficult. Ball loose. Bo Sterling trying to pick it, as does Klein. It's Klein who ends up with it, coming towards the cage of the Wildcats. Sees some pressure, he peels off towards some green grass on the near sideline with less than 2 minutes remaining. Sully Kroger working it to Reese Barron. Maybe this offense trying to put some finishing touches on what's been another successful game. Sterling to Heimbach. Scored in this half his first goal. Does he have thoughts of number 2? A bouncing pass ending up with Sawyer Snow coming towards the near post. And we see a man go down behind the cage. And also the ball will go back to Central Washington. Shot clock is just a factor here, with 5 seconds separating the game and shot clock at the whistle for ready to play now sitting at 1:20. But will the Wildcats make it across the midfield stride? 10 seconds left to make it clear. A pass way down the field will bounce past Kortner out of bounds, and another turnover with just over a minute to go. Situation, if Montana works it across the midfield stride, they may just run the rest of the clock out, bring this contest to a close.
1 minute.
1 minute exactly, as Reeser makes his way across with 55 seconds left. Another solid performance As behind the back shot, Reeser, maybe that the icing on the cake. BT Beer to make it 15-4. Brandon Reeser's done that a few times in this season. Flashy there. We have another look at that goal also. Level of difficulty is up there quite a bit. Pass found Reeser, BTB over his left shoulder, bounding that one in, bottom left-hand corner with 44 seconds left. Now an 11-goal advantage, 15-4 score as Reeser scores his second goal of the day. Scored his first goal as a Montana Grizzly, going BTB back in Denver a few weeks back. And that trend presents itself again. Push to the back called against Wyatt Nelson off the faceoff. We'll see the ball go to Central Washington, trying to find a positive potentially to their offensive afternoon with 30 ticks to go in the fourth. Flores sets the screen now for coming down Saldivar. Still has it with 18 to go in the fourth. On the far post, Saldivar has it back. Will he side dodge against Jandro? No. Fake to pass, now throws it to Flores. Had it go low on the carpet. Kyle Lincoln with the final 10 seconds, knocking it towards the midfield stripe with 2, with 1. That's going to do it for 4 quarters of action at Washington-Grizzly Stadium. Another solid performance for Tucker Sargent and the Grizzlies. Central Washington, first team able to get on the board in the first quarter, but then a 9-0 run in the first half from Montana allows U of M to cruise in this one from Washington-Grizzly Stadium. For the 4th time in the last 5 years, it is Montana over Central Washington in PNCLL battle. Montana now 2-0 in conference games, piggybacking off the success of last night. Overall record also moves to 6-0 on the season. Montana, one more chance to make it a perfect weekend in terms of success. They have one last game on the schedule. Another high noon start time tomorrow against the University of Idaho. All in all, a successful day at the office for Montana. The loss will drop Central Washington back to 2-2 on the season. Also, Central Washington's second loss in conference, having also lost their first game of the season to the Yotes of the College of Idaho. And again, an impressive result from the Yotes as well. Mentioned the final over the Montana State Bobcats last night, a win of 4-goal difference, 13-9 score. So in terms of who are the teams to watch, at least at this point in the conference season, in the North and South, definitely in the South has to be the Yotes, and in the North, the University of Montana. Those two teams will get together in the month of April, thinking about College of Idaho and Montana. But that will be a fun contest to follow when it presents itself. But Montana to this point on this homestand have been taking care of business with some home cooking, outscoring their opponents by a score combined of 37 like a Montana Grizzly to 7, outscoring a +30 differential in games won over the Wildcats in Gonzaga. That'll definitely be a challenge, you would think, for the opposition tomorrow in the University of Idaho. The Vandals and the Grizzlies, the last game of the weekend, that contest coming for you tomorrow afternoon. Opening face-off of high noon if you can't make your way inside Washington-Grizzly Stadium. That's going to just about do it for us on our side of things. But if you want to check out some more content on the ESPN MT YouTube page, be sure to flip on over and catch some college rugby. The newly formed Sport Broadcasting Club at the University of Montana bringing live coverage of some college rugby over at Dorn Blazer Field, just south of us here at Washington-Grizzly Stadium. That awesome, that club getting rolling with some live broadcasts. Were up here in the booth with me last night getting their vantage point at Grizzly Lacrosse. So be sure to check that out. They're live on ESPN MT with their next game beginning at 2:30 local time. So about a half hour from right now, go check it out on our live broadcast. Also, like, subscribe to that ESPN YouTube page to catch more Grizzlax broadcasts, goal highlights, and more lacrosse content throughout the course of the spring. And of course, catch tomorrow's game on the ESPN YouTube page as well, live or archived opposite the University of Idaho. Want to thank everyone involved with the broadcast of Grizzly Lacrosse. From the ESPN MT perspective, our cameraman Clayton Byrne, also our technical director Tommy Evans. Also like to thank Rick Cladis from Prodigy Media and MCLA TV for his help on this afternoon's broadcast. My name is Jeff Safford. The Montana Grizzlies get themselves a win on their home field over Central Washington. The final score 15-4 this afternoon from Washington-Grizzly Stadium. Have a fantastic rest of your Saturday afternoon. We'll be back with you tomorrow with more Grizzly Lacrosse action opposite the Vandals. Until then, so long from Washington-Grizzly Stadium. This has been a presentation of Montana Grizzly Lacrosse on the ESPN MT app, Grizzlax.com, MCLA TV, and streaming live on the ESPN YouTube page. Montana a win over Central Washington 15-4. We'll see you for the Vandals and the Grizz tomorrow. So long from Missoula, Montana.